Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Great Awakening. Okay, so what day is this?
Wednesday.
Day 3. Okay, all right. So this morning, our one-a-day is going to be the Parasite Party. And believe it or not, this is a really important one-a-day. I want you to take this one to heart. Between the two-legged parasite and the 100-legged one, that's what's undermining everybody's life. Everybody's life. And the majority will continue to do this throughout history. Okay? All right? And that's the way it is. Are you okay with that?
No.
What?
Yes.
Someone said no. Well, then get frustrated because you're going to. Everybody has their time to wake up. Just as you can't force the little baby chick to hatch earlier or you'll kill it. When you try to give information to people, even if it's the truth, and they're not ready to accept it, they will no longer accept you. Is that what you want? Because you said no. I don't care what book you read, and I want you all to come and tell me I was wrong. The majority will never buy into the truth. The majority will never buy into the truth. Because guess what? We have been embedded so much that actually thinking for ourselves, living for ourselves, loving ourselves, caring for ourselves is spelled S-I-N, yes or no? Unless you're suffering, you don't have value here. And as soon as you stop suffering, you have an ego problem. And I'm telling you, the ego does not exist. I don't care who says, who writes, how old they were, how many people bought the book. Ego does not exist. What exists are dysfunctional belief programs. You know, the person that has their nose in the air, that's their protection. The person that's angry all the time, that's their protection. The person that's depressed all the time, that's their protection. The person that overshoots everything and overdoes everything, that's because they lack confidence. There's no ego. I want someone here to show me the ego, and then I want to see you kill it. I hear so much stuff about killing the ego. You can't kill an ego, but you can change the way you speak and the way you think, and you can change your words, which change your thoughts, which change your emotions, which change your frequency, which changes the chemistry of your brain on what you dump and how you feel. Look at how you struggle and you call yourself awake. But you're going to tell me that you're not okay with the majority not waking up? Then you're going to struggle. You bought into the BS, the belief system that we have to wake everybody up. You know what? Every time that you try to teach somebody something and they're not ready, do they get annoyed with you? Yeah. Okay, so what you're saying is you're okay to be a terrorist. And that's what you just said. I'm okay to be a terrorist because I'm right. And you are not right. You bought into coming into this program. And I warned you that I was going to unleash, okay, unconditional love and care for you and teach you that before you leave. If you didn't walk through that door, I'm not going to do that for anyone. I'm not going to open my mouth. How many people do you know right now, because some of you are here for the second and third time on this course, you know that if somebody's limping, you can reverse that usually in 20 minutes. 20 minutes! With Wolf non-surgical. You can do a chiropractic treatment, it'll only last for a day or two. You can do acupressure, that's not going to work at all. Acupuncture, I have my doctorate in it, I never use it. Physiotherapy, well, that's a joke. That's called a governmental exercise of pretending to help you. I'm not telling you I'm putting it down. I'm not putting it down. It just doesn't work. If I go to a physical therapist and I go to that physical therapist for 3 months, my God, who forgot? The body heals itself. And if it didn't heal itself, it puts scar tissue there so you can't feel it anymore. The reality is this. Until you learn the game, you will be frustrated. And the parasites will feed on you internally and externally. I want nothing for you except what you want. Well, that doesn't sound very good, Daryl. Yes, it does. Because if you're not prepared to listen, why should I be prepared to talk? You need to get that. I don't care if it's your brother or your sister or who it is. Because guess what? Now, whoever said, no, I'm not happy with the majority not changing, well, guess what? Have a tantrum. See how that works. Because that's what you're going to do. When you don't get your way, you will pay. And the only way is the Braveheart way, is unconditionally loving and caring for yourself. And then those people that are ready to crack the egg from the inside out and hatch will go, I want some of that. How many of you have changed your spouses and your children and brought them to the light? That's right. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. And you know one of the best ways to actually get parasites crawling around in your body? Think that you know better. I don't know better. All I'm doing is sharing what I do, what I think, and the way I live right now. That's it. Or I'm just doing a really good job and being a fraud, which most people are. But sometimes you have to be a fraud because you got to fake it till you make it. What did I tell you this morning? It's not just a word. I told you when we were going around and I was giving everybody their morning Braveheart hug, that guess what? I don't want to know if you don't feel good. I want to know if you don't feel good, and then we'll create a strategy. But if every morning, you say the same thing. How are you doing? I'm good, okay, getting along, working my way through it. Wow, you just said that you were swimming across the river of caca. So you're better maybe to keep your mouth shut. You might get some in there. So the reality is like I told you, it's not just a word. Every word holds a vibration. Yeah, but Daryl, I don't feel good. I never feel good. And guess what? Keep telling everybody you never feel good. And the only people that will want to be around you are the people that want to tell you that they don't feel good either, or one other thing. They're the fixer-upper people. And how many fixer-upper people do we have here? A lot of them. Oh, I'll fix you. I got to find something broken so I can fix it. And then I'll feel better about myself. Why aren't you just working on fixing yourself? And you're not fixing anything because you're not broken. There's no such thing as fixing yourself. It's just getting more feeding into the spirit. Feed the spirit, heal the body. Feed the spirit, heal the body. Feed the spirit, heal the body. That is it. Nobody's broken. You're just out of alignment. You're not missing anything, okay? They just told you it never existed. And you know what? You don't know that there's a knob, okay, behind the curtain unless somebody told you there was, to open that door. You know, I keep talking about this is the greatest time to live on this planet. But you have to have the tools for it. First of all, most people don't know how to connect to their breath. First of all, most people don't know that a slight smile is your greatest weapon. If anybody in the next few months still is making other people responsible for anything in their life, they're in big trouble, wouldn't you say? Do you get that now? You have to take total responsibility for your life. And more in this year than any year in the history of humankind. And did you notice I didn't say mankind? Because man's not kind, and we're always emphasizing on the male. And the male is the destructive part of this planet. Did you get that? I caught myself real quick. Manipulate. It's not woman manipulate. It's woman create. It's man manipulate. So men really need to work harder to try to find the love and care for themselves. Tim, why don't you be the first one to come up here and sit beside me and tell me what you've learned in the last 2 days, 3 days. Well, this is day 3, so maybe you didn't learn anything today.
I'm learning all the time. It's hard to, grasp. It's just like I'm evolving, this thing's. I feel like I'm hearing the same thing over and over again, and it's all about self-love and self-care, and so, it's not about how I feel, what I look like, and.
Well, it is how you feel. How you feel is what creates what you look like, right? I mean, you can believe it or not believe it, but I look younger now than I did last year. I'm looking younger. I'm not telling you I'm not getting up in age, but I'm looking younger because I'm caring for myself. Do I have passion? I don't need this. Do I have passion and do I care for everybody on this planet? Yes, but I have to mind my own business. Does everybody pretty well on this planet know what I do for a living? Or know what I do for my passion? Well, they're going to ding my doorbell if they're really interested, aren't they? Does everybody know, the people that know you in your life that you really care for, they know how you feel about things, right? So why are you continually trying to sell them? I need you to think about that. Stop selling it. Because if you would like to waste a lot of time and a lot of energy, you're the parasite. You're draining your own energy. If you want to waste a lot of time and a lot of energy, try to make the little baby chick crack the egg before. You see, if I crack the egg from the outside, what are the chances of that little baby surviving? It has to crack from where? Because it's an inner standing, not an outer standing, okay? All right, so understand that. It's an inner standing. If you don't have an inner standing of what you are and what your potential is, everybody can tell you until the cows come home. And the only way that you can really change from other people is to be around other people because their belief systems will infect you. They will affect you. They will infect you. So think about the people that you hang around with and about the people that you're focused with and you're trying to change. First of all, I am not going to hang around with people that vibrate lower than me. Now, does my family, some of them, yeah, they drink, they toke, they smoke, they self-abuse themselves. That's different. I'm not talking about that. Okay? I can hold the light, but how long can you hold the light around people, okay, that are doing things that are lowering their vibration? Do you think it doesn't affect you? So do you ever think about your environment? Do you ever think about your exterior environment, that it might affect you? Do you ever think about the people that might affect you? And then guess what? Then there's you, and you feel really bad because the people that you love, they don't accept you for the little light spirit that you are, okay? So now you feel guilty about it. Do you see how corruptive that is? When will that end?
Hoping today.
You're hoping today. Hope don't float. Hope don't float. It's not ending today. It's not ending today. So she's actually running a program that suffering is the way to the Lord. Suffering is the way that you show family you love them. See, you got that bug, didn't you? You got the bug that if you suffer, you show your family that you love them. My family knows now, but it's taken years, that I love them unconditionally, but I don't suffer for them.
That program came off yesterday.
I don't think it did, because you wouldn't have said, hopefully it ends today. So it didn't. So don't let your subconscious get into the conversation today if you can help it. Do you see? Yeah. But I want you to talk as if you're already there. Absolutely. Okay? I just want to make sure that it's her talking and not her subconscious talking, because your subconscious will continually protect any belief system that's in you, even if it's bringing you down. Is that right, Tim?
We got so much potential, you know, if we could just see it, then we maybe attempt to encourage it and rise up.
This is Tim's second go around, and I can see the changes. But the reality is, if you really want to change, you know, did anybody ever see those old taxi cabs where they'd have the meter and they'd pull that handle down and then it would go tick, 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 and you'd be charged on the time and how far you travel? I want you to pretend that you've got a meter on your mouth and it goes tick, tick, tick. And I want you to see how long you can go with only having positive statements. Now, the majority is going to say, what a bullshit. You see what's going on in the world? Actually, no, I don't. It's my world. I only see what I want to see. See, now we're right back to the whole suffering thing again. And that's that whole parasitical point of view. That if you're not giving up parts of your life, you know, it's called communist thinking. I'm going to suffer today to have a better tomorrow. How many of you have suffered today and you had a better tomorrow? Tomorrow you were exhausted and you had a headache. You were in bed, you were probably sick. Because all sickness comes from the invisible and then comes to the physical. And that's because you're denying the spirit that you are. When you come here, you didn't come with a body, did you? You came as a light energy being. And so that is the only focus you ever want. If you're not feeding your spirit, your light, your energy, creating that electrical charge, then you're not even in charge at all. So you see the people that go to the gym and wow, look at that body. But now look at the landmine. So did you ever notice something? Of course, what does everybody always say? When I was young, I was an athlete. Well, everybody was. You were given health. You were given vibrancy. You were given tone. And then you went and burnt yourself out and you by alcohol and drugs and sugar and new and improved, and by burning yourself out because you're trying to prove everyone that you're worthy. I am never going to do anything to prove I'm worthy because I already am. Boy, did I just save a lot of energy. And I'm never going to suffer for anybody. But am I going to have compassion for the world? Absolutely. Am I going to understand that I have been everyone and I have been everything? A liar, a cheater. Now I'm a truther. Because before, when I was a liar and a cheater, I wasn't a bad person. I had to lie and cheat. You know why? Because I didn't know myself. And I had to lie and cheat because guess what? I was in survival mode. Okay? And as long as you're in survival mode, you have to be a liar and a cheater. I'm not in survival mode. And I definitely don't need to go around fixing people to have my worthiness. I don't need to do that anymore either. My gosh, when I was 30 years old, you know, I had already put the Wolf Non-Surgical together. I'd be in a restaurant and somebody couldn't lift their arm, or they would limp in, and I'd say, hey, would you like me to fix that? It took me like 4 or 5 years to get it. I would do that, and I didn't understand that the person actually had that physical impairment because of a mental impairment on an emotional level. And I was saying, I could get rid of that physical impairment. And they go, no, that's just the side effect of my emotional impairment, which I don't even know I have. So the subconscious wants to protect your diseases, because disease means you're not at ease, which means you're out of alignment. Thanks, Tim. So let's talk about something I think is really important. And where is it? Right here. So if you look in the new guide, and all of you in here, okay, that have taken the course, when the new guide is printed, okay, you're going to get a second guide, okay, for cost. Because the new guide you have, the guide you have, you're the last course that gets that guide. This is the new one. It's 500, okay? The practitioner's guide is 575 pages. It's got the Parasite Party in it. It's got the opening in it, okay? It's got so many different things in it. It's a totally different, almost a different guide than one you have. But we couldn't get it printed in time, but it will be. Just understand that. And everybody who's watching at home, you can get the PDG free guide. It's the perfect day guide. And you go to pdgfree.com and you can download it, and I guarantee it's going to blow your mind. It'll be the most powerful guide to actually help to heal yourself and your family on an emotional, mental, and physical level. And I challenge everybody out there on this that I just said that. And understand it's free, so I don't have to give you a money-back guarantee. And the only guarantee that I can guarantee you is most people will download it and never read through it. And why? Because they're going to protect the belief systems that are the prominent, dominant ones, where guess what? To read this book and take action, we have been programmed that you are selfish. Did you get that? That you are selfish. So just know that. So that'll be the biggest thing to get over. But today we're going to talk about the Parasite Party. Let me give you some comparisons right now, and then tell me and challenge me. I want everybody here to challenge me. First of all, what came first? The mosquito or the swamp? The swamp. Anybody knows that? If you don't give a picture, an image, a simple comparison to people, they will never grasp it. Okay, do not try to talk over anybody's heads. If you take a look at my book here, look at the print in it. It's large, it's black, it stands out. Today what everybody does, okay, is they go gray. See, I want to tell you something. These are gray times, yes? I'm going to show you something. These are gray times. And today if you buy a book, they don't put it in black so you can read it. They put it in gray so you have to strain. And they put the print a little bit small enough that you have to strain and you can't read it. Tell me I'm right or wrong. The two-legged parasites are able to control everything on this planet because they own everything on this planet. How many people know that in North America, the Rockefellers have Rockefeller Publishing, and no book gets into a school until they screw it? How many people know that the Rothschilds are related to the Rockefellers, which are related to the Queen of England, that are related to J.P. Morgan? How do you know that they're all, you don't know they're all related? And they all look after different parts of the country, so that when we give our children away to the government, they make sure that every book, okay, it sounds good, but it's always got this underlying parasitical flavor. So let's write a book that you can read it easily and that an 8-year-old can understand it. Do you want to talk about parasites? Well, I'll tell you what a parasite is. A parasite is somebody that talks in Greek. What did the medical system use for all of their diseases? Greek, old Greek, arthritis, right? Which means scar tissue and inflammation in your joint. Well, if I said to somebody, you've got scar tissue and inflammation and some calcification in your joint, what would you say to the person? How do I get rid of it? They're not going to tell you that. You've got arthritis. And then guess what? Because you're so brainwashed, you won't even walk over to a dictionary and look up arthritis. Let me give you an example. And this is also on the Parasite Party. The greatest parasite party that ever went down in the last few years was called the COVID Parasite Party. And we were all invited, didn't we? Were we all invited to that party? Hell yeah. What a party. Anyway, so guess what? So, I mean, you know this maybe now, but some of you, I bet you don't. Did you ever look up the word virus? I guarantee you that hardly anybody in here looked up the word virus. And virus in Greek means toxin or poison. And when's the last time that a toxin and a poison could jump 1 inch, less 6 feet? And understand something. So the majority of the population, your desire is that the majority of the population wakes up. Can you please try to put out a different, get a different wish going here? Can you please do that? We couldn't even get them to look up the word. If they looked up the word, they would know that it's not alive. And whether you believe this or not, it doesn't really matter. Do some real research. Okay? The flu is where something is dripping from your nose, your eyes, your ears, you're vomiting, or it's dripping from your vagina, or it's coming out your rectum, or you have a fever. Am I lying or not? Okay, so guess what? The reason why that all has to happen is because viruses are made up of what? Heavy metals, chemicals, GMOs. It's mainly man-made products. If you were to only go nature's way, the Braveheart way, I will never have a flu or a cold. When's the last time you heard that I couldn't do a show because I was sick? When's the last time I was in bed? And guess what? The majority of the population are going to be in bed. In the next 12 weeks, they're going to be in bed. And we know that statistically, over 90% of the population is going to be in bed with a fever, a cold, or a flu, and they're going to call in sick. And the whole world's going to go, you just stay home and get well. But they're not sick. They can't go to work because their body's trying to get well, because they abuse themselves. You're not going to get sick if you don't poison yourself on an emotional, mental, or physical level. That's it. But you go ahead and buy into whatever you want. And then take a look at this. Every bloody mother, almost, that has ever been a mother was given a manual of BS. Here's your manual to become a mother, and this is how we'd like you to feed your children, your husband, and this is how you're going to heal your family. And by the time that your kids are around 5, 6, 7, 8, you're going to feel like you're hopeless and stupid. Because we have just given you a manual that you'll be knocking your head against the wall. Because on one hand, you're going to try to get them healthy. On the other hand, as soon as you take the shopping cart, you're going to put all the heavy metals, all the GMOs, and all the chemicals in there, and then you're not even going to think about that. You're totally oblivious. Yes or no? Did I just make that up? Help me out here. Come on, if I'm lying. Every one of you poisoned your children. You poisoned your children. And the majority of the women out there are poisoning their children, and the majority of men are just like, well, my job was to pay the mortgage, and that's all my job is. You know, a man's job should be when he gets home and gets through the door. That's when his real job starts. But that's been gone a long time ago. The reality is this, is that guess what? Every woman was taught to poison their children. Every man was taught to poison their children. And then every man and woman was taught to give their children away to the government, to the biggest parasite factory on this planet. And then you go, I don't know, we're a good Christian family, or we're not like this. Well, in comparison, who is with your child the most? Most of the time, people are with their children 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, no more than that. The government actually got your children for 8 hours, 9 hours a day. And the longer that your children go to school and the more degrees they want, oh my God, they're so smart, they have so much information. Yeah. Well, how many of those PhDs and how many of those so-called intelligent people are now freaking out because they're trying to figure out how to get rid of the V, which is one of the biggest parasites you could ever put in your body? Let's not have intelligence. Let's have some logic first, because that is the only intelligence. So let's take a look at it this way. What was it again? The swamp came first or the mosquito? Okay, so here's another one. So now I've got a bowl of fruit. And all of a sudden there's all these fruit flies flying around the fruit. Where did they come from? Was there like a fruit trumpet? Okay, come fruit flies. Where'd they come from? Trevor, where'd they come from? If you can't answer this question, then you can't answer something very important in your life. And I'm not telling you should be able to answer it, because guess what? They don't want you to know it. They were created from the invisible. As soon as the vibration lowered on the fruit enough, the actual invisible fruit fly was always in the fruit. What? Holy smokes! That's just like 95 to 98% of all the parasites that people have in their body, they didn't eat. They didn't eat the eggs. They actually created them from the invisible. The parasites actually have, I just love this part. I got to do a parasite cleanse every 3 to 4 months. Yeah, well, I can see you're a very low vibrational person. And I'm not putting you down. I wasn't putting the person down. If you're going to drink low vibrational things, eat low vibrational things, think low vibrational things, which is the worst one, you're going to have parasites all the time. You could do parasite cleanses every week if you wanted, but you'll never keep up. You'll never keep up. So anyway, so now the fruit flies, where'd they come from? It's called the low-hanging fruit. You're going to find out why. The low-hanging fruit, it's overripe. Overripe to the point that it's rotting. What is an autoimmune disease? That person's called the low-hanging fruit. They're overripe. They're rotting out. Any place in the body, if you were able to open up the skin and go to where the disease is, you'd smell decaying flesh. You'd smell rotting flesh. Did you get that? Nobody wants to know that. First of all, if your bowel movements are smelling, your armpits are smelling, you've got bad breath, you've got parasites. Anybody with halitosis has parasites and probably tapeworms. No. Well, hot air rises, it's a gas, and you've got your own private manure pile in your large intestine, which was supposed to be a compost, making good bacteria, but now you're making bad bacteria, worms, and what else? Fungus. So now hot air rises like a hot air balloon. You roll over to give your wife a kiss or your husband a kiss, and they go, oh my God, please brush your teeth. Somebody crapped in your mouth just a minute ago. I never have bad breath. There's nothing rotting in me. One thing, I don't have stinking thinking, but a lot of people think I do. Arrogant, selfish. Who does he think he is? I'll tell you who I think I am. The minority of the minority, and I'm staying there. And no, the majority's never going to follow me. Because it's not about that. It's not about waking up the world. It's about spirit beings that have been dumbed down. And until they suffer long enough and strong enough, they're not going to open up. And they got to open up from the inside out. Nobody can crack your coconut. Do I tell you that, come here, I'll crack your coconut? I say, come here, and I will help you crack your coconut from the inside out. When you opted to pay the money to come to the course, you're ready to have it cracked from the inside out, not from the outside in, or we could kill you. It would feel like we're killing you. So let me ask you a question. Okay, so what I've done is we're going to have a project tomorrow, okay? And the hotel agreed to it, even though this is a 4-diamond resort. The hotel agreed that we're going to have a dump truck come in and we're going to put a big pile of manure right here on this mat. Then we're going to proceed to, after we put this manure down, okay, what we're going to do, okay, so we're going to pick all the worms out, all the bad bacteria, and we're going to get rid of all the fungus, okay? We're going to then proceed to then tape up all the windows and all the doors. You wonder where I'm going with this? Then we're going to come back the next morning, and what do we have to do? What are we going to have to do, guys? We're going to have to do it all over again. So you go ahead and you do your herbal parasite cleanses. You go ahead and do your drug parasite cleanses. And you'll be parasite cleansing forever, because there's nothing that's going to get rid of a parasite unless the perfect day. Oh my God, I knew there was a sales pitch. Now he's trying to set us all up. Perfect day is what you think, drink, and eat, isn't it? All right? I don't know if there's a person in here that doesn't have worms. Let me tell you something. 99 out of 100 people have worms. And this is science. 99 out of 100. You can't physically cleanse worms out of your body. Everything is a frequency. Remember how I always go around saying issues in your tissues? You do know that if you have any disease or a negative symptom, you've got worms? No, you don't. Now you do. No, you don't. Now you do. You didn't know that. No. Now you do. Now you know it. I can tell you the people that actually have tapeworms here, and you can. But when we get done, I'll tell you, because I don't want to do it right now. Because we'll actually talk to those people, and I'll show you, and you'll be able to tell. After I tell you, after I show you, you'll know. You'll go, oh God, yeah. See, body talk is the most important language on the planet. You're really here to learn body talk. You're here to learn that your body loves you, and it's going to give you messages of love. And you've all been taught that those messages of love are a hindrance. Headache, rash, pimple, boil, oh, tumor, cut it out. Now, was it through lack of surgery that you grew the tumor? Was it through lack of popping pimples that you have them? Was it lack of cortisone cream that you have them? Everything has to become a storage shed for negativity. The last time that you were upset, did you make yourself a salad, or did you have a drink, or a Coke, or a drug? No, when you're upset, you'll eat at the same vibration, won't you? You'll treat yourself that way. The last time you're angry with yourself, you cut your finger, or you stubbed your toe, or you hurt your back. Do you understand? Are you with me yet?
Yeah.
I don't hurt myself. I don't get into car accidents either. Oh yeah, but no, wait, hold on a second here. It wasn't my fault. No, you just made sure that you were there to get hit. You are a high vibrational spirit being of the universe. Think about any time that you ever had an accident, and then go back there quietly and think about what was going on. And even if they said it wasn't your fault, you just made sure you were there. How's that for parasite thinking? So everything is vibrational. The only thing that is real is your spirit. Everything else is just an illusion. Now, let's get back to our story. So we know that you cannot cleanse a manure pile enough. Stagnation. How many of you have stagnant thoughts? Everybody in here. And a stagnant thought is going to give you, you're overweight, you're underweight, stiff hips. I mean, give me anything you want. We can go all the way around here and everybody's got something. Now, the invisible creates the physical. So even if you change mentally, if you had that thought for so long, you can calcify and create so much scar tissue in that organ or in that joint that you physically have to go in there and pull that scar tissue apart and put the calcium back into the bones. There's a lot of people that will emotionally change or bring up their vibration, but they will limp for the rest of their life because they're all going to the same body workers that have gotten the same results since the beginning of time, which are pretty bad. Yes or no? Unless you know how to pull scar tissue apart to allow the spirit to flow through the fibers, the blood, the lymph, then it never comes back to connective tissue. We don't get rid of scar tissue because there's no such thing. There's only the absence of what? Light. How many people know that red blood cells are little ferry boats of light? And they carry, that's what they're doing, they're carrying light to the different areas. But if you've got calcification or you got crystallization piled up or scar tissue formation, you're not getting those ferry boats of light. And also, whether you believe it or not, how about this one? You ready for this? It actually slows your spirit down. How many people know that? So your spirit cannot actually get through calcification very well. That's BS. Really? Okay, then I want you to go on the other side of that wall there, and I want you to give me a call, and I'll stand on this side of the wall. And these walls are about this thick, and they're made out of what, mainly? Calcium. And I'm going to need you to walk over to the door or to the window to get better reception. Right? Okay. So, believe it or not, your spirit energy will get blocked. How many people know that your cells, every one of your cells, has actually called a cell print? Didn't know that, did you? That cell print is unique to you and nobody else. And guess what? When you are terrorized and fearful, you create a thickening on the cell because the cell, every time you have terror. So when somebody gets surgery, all the cells around the area, they thicken up the wall around them. Why? Because they're scared. Okay, because surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else, more calcification than anything else, more crystallization. Anybody that has surgery, if they were to go get non-surgical after they healed, they would come right back and they wouldn't even have a scar. All scars are absence of light. All scars are actually fibrin and scar tissue. Yes?
Is the print cell is DNA?
What?
Is the print cell is DNA?
No. No, the print cell is not a DNA. The print cell is an antenna. Are you ready for this? Because guess what? I'll prove it to you. So anyways, guess what? I got an organ transplant from someone. Now I got to take organ rejection drugs because it's rejecting me because the spirit of that person was coming into their tissue, into that blueprint. That's why you take those rejection drugs. That's why somebody says, oh my gosh, I got a transplant, okay, of this or that, and they go, I've never liked pickles with chocolate ice cream, and now I do. I keep having these thoughts of being in this place. And then they talk to the mother or the father or the wife, and they go, oh my God, that's what he or she used to love. Why don't you do some homework? So it's actually an antenna for the spirit energy because your spirit doesn't come into you down to the planet and that's it. The energy is continually coming in. You get it? And guess what? When you are negative, when you eat toxic foods, when you have toxic thoughts, all right, you block that energy. It's called tune in. It's called tune in and turn on. Let me say something. When somebody comes in and you can care for them, and they are upset, how long do you want to be with them?
Not long at all.
Okay, but that's not them, but do you see how they changed it? So people that are depressed, everybody that's depressed and everyone that has chronic fatigue is parasitical. You know, are you ready for this? Somebody that is so annoying and they can't stop talking about chemtrails, right, has parasites because of chemtrails. Did you get that? You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. You cannot be a negative person emotionally and not physically be attracting things that feed off of you. So when you complain about things you cannot change all the time and you're obsessed with it, the two-legged parasite is feeding off of you. Did you get that? That would be government. That would be these psychos. You're just being fed off of. You have to understand that if everybody just did self-love and self-care, would the two-legged parasite be able to do anything? No, because you wouldn't be buying any of their stuff. You wouldn't be buying into their, you wouldn't be watching their news. You wouldn't be buying their junk that's on the shelves, right? You wouldn't be doing it. There wouldn't be a coffee shop on every corner because, you know, I can only make it to the next block and then I've got to have another drug cup. You know, there wouldn't be alcohol stores everywhere. There wouldn't be a corner store. What is a corner store? A corner store is there to poison children mainly, and poison adults, of course. That's all it is. Corner stores are to poison humans, yes or no? And if you sat at a corner store and you watch the people that come in, how do they look? Everybody that goes to a corner store has what? An addiction that's killing them. That's not true, dear. Oh, this store has a gas station. Yeah. Well, let's see them go in and pay and not come out with a chocolate bar. I'm not putting people down. And that's what we all need to understand. People are not broken. They just forgot that the most important thing to feed was not their mind and not their body, was their spirit. Believe it or not, if you could get somebody high-spirited enough, okay, they don't even have to eat good. They can't eat terrible, but they don't have to eat great, okay? I'm going to tell you something right now, and you know this. Well, you don't, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's day 3, and have I been putting out any energy? I've only been drinking. I have only had, last night, I had a little bowl of black bean soup, and that's all I've had for 3 days. See, you have to understand, feeding the spirit is watching out that you don't create a landmine. Where do I get this energy from? I am the light of my life. I am the love of my life. This morning when I woke up, I had a bit of a headache, and I was like groggy. And did I tell myself, you've got a headache and you're groggy? I said, I'm going to get excited about today because today is another beautiful day. And every day is going to be a beautiful day. So let's make something really clear here. Let's get back to the Parasite Party. This is the part you're going to love. I think you're going to love it. Okay. So do you believe, okay, that manure piles create parasites? Okay. So when you can't let go of things in your life, do you believe that that is mental constipation? Do you believe now that mental constipation will cause physical constipation? Yes. Think about the last time you wouldn't let go of something. You were constipated. And then if you couldn't let go of it for so long on an emotional, you're feeding that belief and you're going to make yourself really sick. But what will happen is that person will eventually have diarrhea. Because the body will go, wow, we can't stop the emotional part, but we're going to pull water from all the other parts of the body and give that person diarrhea. Person will say to me, I've got diarrhea. I go to the bathroom like 5 times a day, 7 times a day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day. And I go, that's because you're constipated. I'm not constipated. What, didn't you not hear me? I said, well, the reality is your body has to give you the diarrhea or you'd be dead already. You'd have a heart attack or a stroke, or you would have had cancer, and definitely cancer of the bowels. And how does anybody know what is the fastest growing cancer now? It's the bowel. And second to that is prostate for men. And the other one is the whole pelvic area for women, and breasts. And does anybody know why breast cancer is the worst it's ever been? Because women are eating the worst they've ever eaten, and they poison their pelvis. You can't have breast cancer unless you have a pelvic problem. Ask any breast cancer person, and they've never ever restored their pelvis. They've never gone in, and the healing needs to come to the large intestine. When they say that you have leaky gut, there is no such thing. It's only leaky large intestine. And leaky large intestine is caused from so much putrefaction and rotting that it creates inflammation. And the inflammation takes what we call tight junctions, because you're only one cell thick in there, and the inflammation blows them up, and now you've got leaky gut. And what really causes the worst parasitical problem, second to thoughts, it's always stinking thinking first, is actually antibiotics. And anybody here that does dairy every day, cheese, yogurt, milk, you're getting highly dosed with antibiotics in there every day. Anybody here that does farm grown fish, you're getting antibiotics every day. Anybody here that does any type of pork, chicken, meat, you're getting antibiotics every day. So people say they haven't had antibiotics forever. If you eat animal products, just something daily, okay? It's like taking a 7 to 10 day round of antibiotics every month. So they're never going to get well. That's it. That's it. So understand this. On this planet, you're not going to want to hear this either. The two-legged parasites are always going to have free range and own the monetary system. Did you get me? Now the digital system's coming in, and that will give us more freedom. It will pull away some of the power. But the reality is that people don't stand up for themselves, do they? You're not standing up for yourself. People yell and scream, but standing up for yourself means standing inside yourself, feeding your spirit, unconditional love and care for yourself. That's standing up for yourself. I know some people won't like this, but no matter what happens today in the world or tomorrow, the next day, I'm having a great day every day. Every one of you have been programmed to suffer. Tim has one of the best suffering programs I've ever seen. Okay? But you've all been programmed to suffer. Okay? Trish has a great one. Okay? All right? And so does David. You all have different ones, and if you want, we can play the suffer program, and I'll tell you what it's based on. But the reality is that I'm not going to suffer. Because when you're suffering, you're not there for others. Did you get that? So go ahead and want the majority of the population to wake up, and now you're suffering. The reality is you need to wake up, and you need to be present, and you need to own your life, okay? You need to own your life on all levels. You know, the greatest teacher is the teacher that is what they're teaching. I don't go around telling people to wake up. I tell people to love themselves. Most people reject that. So I'll say it on my platforms, and I'll get bashed. You should see the name calling. Just go on there and take a look sometime. But the reality is I'm not going to go out there and do that. Do you understand? I'm not even going to do it to my family. So what I'm getting at here is until you decide that you will never run a suffering program again, you're going to have parasites. I feel so bad for them. That makes me so angry. We need to fight this. So understand something. The two-legged parasites create all the other parasites because they know how to get you to think in a way to lower your vibration on an emotional level, which eventually, depending on what belief you pick, you're no different than me. You just have different beliefs. You're no different than me. You just have different beliefs. We're all spirit beings. You're no different than me. You just have different beliefs. You were raised by different parents. You went to a different church. You went to a different school. That's all. I'm not offended by that. Believe in anything you want. You can be as toxic as you want to. I'm not offended by that. But I'm just not going to walk into your vibration or hang around with you very long. And it's not because I'm disrespecting you or I don't like you. I love you. I love you, but I may not like the vibration that's coming off of you, because if you don't want to protect your vibration, if you protect your vibration, you'll never have to do a parasite cleanse. And how do you protect your vibration? Well, because everything you eat and everything you drink and everything you think and the habits that you have are high vibrational. That's it. That's all it is. It's called issues in the tissues. And I already said that, you know what? Your personality, let's just take yours. You grab some of this, 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 not even knowing you grabbed it. And a lot of it was force-fed. And now you have this personality and you think it is. I don't know why I don't want to talk. I don't know why I'm angry all the time. Well, I'll tell you why. Because you were raised around people that were angry. You were also raised in a way that you used your anger and your silence to protect yourself. So now you've just cut yourself off. You're riddled with parasites. You've got tapeworm. And I think you've got a few. And I'm not picking on them. I'm trying to tell them that if you'd like to get rid of the tapeworms, then you've got to get rid of the anger. And if you want to get rid of the tapeworms, then you need to start thinking and speaking in a more loving way. And you need to become open, because when you become more open, you flow better. Yes or no? Do people that aren't open and have trouble conveying themselves, are they stuck? Would you call that stagnation? Would you call it decreased circulation? Along comes with that is a stiff body, a calcified one. Why? Because you're the rock. So, you bring up your vibration and you send them packing. So the reality is this. I'm going to be doing today, we're going to be doing a show today at 4 o'clock. So we're going to be here till about 6:30 today. And it's called the Advanced Water Fast. And I'm going to go through the whole thing. For most people, they won't want it, but if you decide not to stay, you need to watch it. And if you don't, that's up to you. Okay? I've already raised my children. The reality is this, is that when you do things like advanced water fasting, you bring up your vibration. And in the advanced water fasting, I'm going to be showing nutraceuticals, not supplementation. Supplements are low vibration. Almost all supplements in a health food store aren't worth the price of the bottle they're in. Did you hear me? It's a true story. Everything that I possibly can is the highest vibration that I can get it at. Everything you eat and everything you drink leaves the body, and the only thing that stays behind is the vibration and the light. Did you get that? That's it. So if I'm going to go to a party where people are snorting cocaine, right? And they're disrespecting their body, what type of vibration would I get into my body? If I go to a place where everyone is talking about they're creating different things in their life. They're so excited about their life. Everybody's so happy about existing and looking at their future as something so beautiful. How am I going to go home that night? Okay, so when you see me not pretending I'm on my phone and I'm walking by, you might know that you're not that high. I'm kidding. But the reality is you've got to protect your vibration. And understand, wherever you have a disease in the body, you've got worms. And you have to go and get the calcium back into the bones. You've got to restore the scar tissue back into connective tissue and restore the circulation, and no worm can be there. The worms are there because they're actually trying to feed off of your decomposing body, even though you're alive. Did you get that? And while they're there, they're also stealing all your nutrition. How many people here know, hey honey, I'm feeling kind of snacky. What time is that usually? Around sunset? Well, that's when parasites come alive, and that's when they want to start mating. Okay? Yeah. So they need energy. So the fungus, the bad bacteria, and the parasites, they do it all day long, but in a full moon, that's when the crazies come out, right? No. That's the most intense time of parasitical breeding is on a full moon. And they are throwing up, they are pooping in you, and they're just having a gay old time. And they are releasing all these toxins, and that's why everybody kind of goes a little loony. Did you know that? Well, come on, guys. What happens on a full moon? The werewolf, the vampire? Well, what about the vampire that's inside of you? Everything comes alive, and that's where the whole story comes from, is that they come to feed. Okay? And they're feeding on you. Mommy, more sugar. Mommy, more alcohol. Mommy, more supplements, because they eat everything. They don't just want something, they want it all until they drain you. So every disease has a parasite, and what you got to do is bring your vibration up. Take a look. Take a look at the people that are doing parasite cleanses all the time. They're neurotic. They're depressed. They have high anxiety. Minding your own business, loving and caring for yourself is the best thing you can ever do. Now you've got a story how you saved your life. And now you can share that story with people. You didn't just save it, you changed it. And you know what? The majority of the population are parasites. Think about how many people don't love themselves, but they feed off their family, their friends, for love, because we can't live without it. We're love parasites. So I'm going to tell you something, until you totally love and care for yourself, it's the only cure for parasites. Do you get it? Does it make sense to you? Absolutely. You have tapeworms. And I say that in a loving way. I mean it in a loving way. Not you got tapeworms, I don't. No, that's not what this is about. You know, this is about our friends, our family, and people we don't know are struggling every day. And when I tell you that I mind my own business, yeah, I feel it in here. But I can't go around feeling it all the time, or I'll be sick. I'll be sick. And remember something, guys. I'm the guy that gives his phone number out that has people calling with only days to live. That's who I am. Do you get this? So people go, oh, he's angry. Really? I'm angry? Oh, I'm angry because this person trusted the medical system. They were radiated, chemotherapy, drugged to death, told to go home and die. Am I angry? Damn right I'm angry, but I can't stay there too long. I roar and then I got to back off and I got to get back into self-care and self-love, or guess what? They win. I get done in. You know damn well when you get upset because of the way the world is, you get sick with the flu. So don't give me this, I can't wait until the world wakes up. They're not going to. You need to stay awake and be there for the people that say, I want what you have, and that's it. That's it. Mind your own business, or you become the parasite. Do you get it? Do you know how many people are in the health business that have parasites, that are overweight, that are underweight, that are actually there with an autoimmune disease and they're dying? I'm never going to be sick because I'm not going to be sick of me, and I'm not going to be sick of the planet because the planet's not going to change for me. Do you get this? And stop buying into, you know, he or she who suffers the most loves the most. Oh, Daryl, he's so cold. Oh, really? I'll give you all the time in the world. I'll give you all the strategies in the world. I give most of what I do for free, but meanwhile, I'm murdering people and stealing their money. And, oh, and I've got a cult going too. Understand this. The day you stand in your own power is not when you will have freed yourself from the invisible bonds that bind you, but you'll always be challenged out here by the parasites. Learn about solitude. Learn about being with yourself and bringing your vibration up and keeping it there. Learn to opt out of a family engagement when it goes sideways. Just stop it. Don't be the fixer-upper, or you'll be sick. Why don't you talk to any caregiver? How healthy are caregivers? How healthy are caregivers? Yeah. And they're still waiting for the great reward, and every caregiver has parasites. You can't drain your battery and think that you're not going to be fed off of. We should be teaching people strength, not weakness. You know, I'm an empathic. Oh God, please, stop. Just stop. I feel everything. Oh, really? I bet they don't feel like I feel. I know somebody's personality and what's going on with them the minute they walk in the room. But I don't take it on. The big thing is that I'm an empathic now. Right. Oh, I'm an empathic. I feel everything. You know, it's such a burden, but it's still a blessing. I mean, seriously, do I have to listen to this? Okay. Do you know what that's called? A parasite. Did you hear me? And I'm not downing the person. They've got a parasitic view of life. Yes, it's great. Let's get in touch, right, with our instincts, with our higher self, so that we can tune into everyone. But but suffering is not going to do anybody any good. You okay? Okay.
So how do you protect yourself?
What?
How do you protect yourself?
Come if you want to talk, because I can hardly hear you.
Okay.
You know, and what you're really going to need to find your voice and slow your talking down before the end of this course, so when you leave here, people actually understand you. So you run a program of anxiety.
Okay.
I'm going to say it really quick, and if I'm wrong, then they won't even notice. And I'm going to talk so softly when I do it, they probably won't even hear me, and then I'm not wrong. Because I don't want to be rejected anymore. How am I doing? Yeah.
So,
Come on. Have a seat right here beside me, love.
So my question is, how do you protect yourself when you're feeling so much around you?
I just told you that you run an anxiety program,
Yeah, okay, yes.
and that's because you stop breathing,
Okay.
or you're breathing shallow and
Like a small dog.
yeah, that's you. But we like small dogs. Listen to me.
I'm a nice puppy.
Yeah. The reality is that you're very scared. You're scared of everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like you don't notice it, guys? You don't notice that she's scared of everything? So what happened is she was traumatized when she was very young, and then she retold the drama over and over again. So now she has a consistent anxiety program, and her subconscious says, listen, you're so smart. You're always alert and ready for something to go wrong or to be criticized or to be judged. Just stay there because that's how we're going to protect you.
It's a lot. Okay.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
Why do you think you can't put on weight? Why do you think you're losing muscle? And you're running out of time. You either calm down, connect to your lion heart breath, put a slight smile on, and don't give a shit what people think anymore. Because you're not going to hurt them. See, she cares what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks. And then if somebody's got some kind of story, right? Like if there was a three-legged dog running across us right now with no hair, she'd go, "Aw," and I'd go, "Stop it." Guess what?
I did that,
That-
with a little cat.
Oh, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. See, I told you. I know a person like this. And I promise you, before this is all over, there's some of you that don't want me to say anything, and I won't. But the ones that are open to it, I'll tell you who you are. And anyway, so she's going to go, "Oh my God, three-legged dog, and he's got no hair." And I said, listen, he's a three-legged dog because he's going to prove he can outrun the four-legged dog, and he's got no hair so he can travel faster. Leave him alone.
Got it.
No. It's the way you look at everything. You know, you're the type of person that walks around going, "Oh, oh." And do you know what the vibration of that is?
That much.
Come suck off of me. Do you actually think that you're going to get some payoff for all this suffering?
No.
Then guess what? Then she's addicted to it. But she doesn't think. Nobody thinks. Nobody sees their personality. You know, did you ever have somebody say to you, "Did you see the way you just talked to me? Did you see what you just said?" "What are you talking about? This is how I talk to you all the time." Yeah, that's the problem. People do not see their personalities. In this course, you have a chance to do it. If you're not going to do the love band, if you're not going to do the mirror work, if you're not going to do the couples connection or the personal connection with yourself, if you're not going to do the connecting to the lion heart breath and the slight smile, well, guess what? Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. You want to know something? There's courses out there, they'll teach you to do like an hour and a half of meditation in the morning and at night. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something. You do it. That's blissful. But guess what? There's nothing more powerful than the walking meditation, and I made that up. Oh, I have a walking meditation. Was anybody here when I ran the Extapa Palace? Between being stolen from, ripped off by the owners, undermined, people that were trying to just backstab me continually. And how did I pull it off? With a smile on my face, connected to my breath, and at every corner people were trying to destroy me. You know, when COVID happened and we're running this, we've got a 200-room place, you know, and it's like all the people that were on disability, emotionally and physically, ran down here. And and it was like the nut house. And then I had people coming down from everything from constipation to cancer. You know, we taught like a course every 2 months, didn't we? And, you know, sometimes we had 50 people in the course, and then trying to deal with these people. And then I had the religious fanatics because I'm not religious. And then they felt threatened, so they tried to destroy me. There's parasites everywhere. Did I attack one person in that whole time? No. I minded my own business. And understand, because if I would have had to attack someone, I have to bring myself down to wherever that level is. So when you're being attacked, let it go. Do not bring yourself down. I'm talking this story for you.
Sure.
Because she feels she's being attacked even when she's not.
Okay, so I'll mind my own business.
There's more to it than that. Okay, bring that a little closer if you want to talk. But listen, minding your own business is not the way she just said it.
Okay.
You know, giving yourself time of solitude to be with yourself and your, whatever it looks like to you. Because everybody in here has a different God. Meanwhile, we all came from the same energy source. Go figure. Meanwhile, we're killing each other, poisoning each other, talking bad about each other, destroying each other. Gosh, isn't it something? If your beliefs don't match someone that's a fanatic, they want to destroy you. I have one belief, that's it. Unconditional love for myself and everyone else. As much as I can do it, you know? We do need to love everyone as much as we can. We don't have to like everyone's beliefs, because there's people on this planet that are just parasitical, right? I mean, look at, but you know, thinking that the world's going to wake up, most people actually, if we were to ask them the question, they would tell the truth and be logical, maybe. But nobody thinks. I mean, people actually thought Bill Gates was the guru of health. Meanwhile, okay, I don't want to say his name again, but what he's done in other countries around the world, I can't get into it, I'll get erased from this. But people actually believed him, and they're still believing him. Because people don't believe in themselves. Do you believe in yourself? That's right, you don't yet. And that would be the best gift that we could all help her with, right? Listen, all of us here today need to support each other while we're here, and support each other when we're not. And how do we do that? How do you make the world a better place? By letting it all go. Let it all go. The world's not in trouble. Humans are. Because they're not feeding their spirit. They're feeding into the BS. I will have nothing to do with anything except what I want. And what I want is based on unconditional love and care for everyone. I would like to hug and kiss everyone, but then I would be a pervert. Because I want everyone to know that they are my brothers and sisters, and that we were all created by the same energy. And there's not one person here that has the same God. And I'm okay with that, because you have an imagination. And guess what? You're not wrong and you're not right. If it makes you happy, if it makes you light, if it feeds your light, if it makes you feel love, that's enough. Because that which created the whole universe doesn't have a personality disorder. And it doesn't look for sinners. We don't even show up in the universal chart. But meanwhile, that which created the world was watching me the first time I was playing with myself under the covers, and I was going to lose my eyesight. And let me tell you, the next morning I could see better. Do you understand? I'm not going for any of your stories, so just stop it. Just stop it. And I know I say things that go, oh my God, did you just say that? Yeah, I did, for a reason. Because now you'll just stay away from me. You won't bring your religious or your fanatical or your chemtrail or, you know what? I moved here. I live in the United States and here now, but I'm living here the majority of the time because I didn't want to hear you talk about your chemtrails anymore because there isn't any. I didn't want to hear about GMOs because there isn't any. I don't want to hear about any governmental crap because the government doesn't do anything to the people down here. But I get to hear from people on here going, oh my God, are you okay? Did the cartel kill any of your family yet? I haven't even seen them. We couldn't even try to find them if we wanted. There's no cartel, nothing. People live in this little bubble. And I'm going to love them anyway. What you decide to do with your life is your life. You want to affect your family? Well, infect them with unconditional love and care that you do for yourself first and foremost. You know how many people come to take my course, and up until about the second day or third day, they're always talking about, I can't wait to go home and cure everyone. Right? Okay. So, what do you think?
So I will focus on nourishing
See,
my
she
spirit.
will all week keep the mic down here. She will talk soft and she will talk fast.
Again.
So I want her to speak slow, loud, and proud because she matters. And you're going to go around and let everybody feel your hands, feel my hands. They're warm
Yes.
with love
Yes.
because I love myself. Yours are freezing as if you've been dead for about 3 hours because she has so much anxiety, okay, because she's so stiff with her thinking. She would be a stiff. Her hands are just totally freezing as if she's been holding ice. And everybody that has cold hands has continual anxiety 24/7 even when they're sleeping. Everybody that has sweaty palms, okay, have burnt out their adrenals already and they're going to have kidney problems. Are you with me? We'll be talking about body talk later. All right? How are we doing? Today I will be talking about things that we do. But you know what? If you go into the PDG guide, guys, the Perfect Day Guide, and anybody on here, the pdgfree.com, go in and take a look at the Parasite Cleanse. Because the Parasite Cleanse is not a cleanse. It's called a perfect day. If you don't want parasites that have 2 legs or many legs in your life, then you create a perfect day from the moment you rise until you close your eyes on an emotional, physical, and mental level. And yes, we use things like curcumin, cayenne, daily cleansing tea caps, black gold, right? These should be done morning and night. What people don't get is, okay, I can get away with it here. I could never afford in the United States right now. Well, I could afford it, but it's a lot. I couldn't afford in the United States to live like I do here. There's no way. No way. No way we know. I get organic foods because there's no herbicides, no pesticides down here. Because there's no genocide down here. Get it? Genocide. They do it on purpose. There's always a clue here. Genocide, herbicide, pesticide. It's all part of it. So down here I pay 70 pesos for a whole quart of fresh organic beet and carrot juice or celery juice, whatever I want. Today I'm only going to do water. But the reality is every day I do 3 quarts. And I eat 1 meal a day. And I'm not tell you I'm Mr. Strength, but I'm not Mr. Weak. And all I do is some stretching and swimming. I'm in perfect shape. Here first. 7 inches. Really important what's in between these 7 inches. Okay? What do you think? Let's see if she pulls the mic up. Let's see if she slows her talking down. And see, it's like this. There'll be people out there that are, will you just leave her alone? No, I won't.
No,
I will not leave her alone.
And I'm okay with this.
But you need to leave us alone.
It's part of my experience.
Because guess what? She opted in and said, enough.
Yes, I really do feel it. It's enough.
It's enough.
Yes, it's enough.
It's enough.
Yes.
Because we need to be enough. We need to be enough to ourselves, first and foremost. And why isn't she enough? Because she believes she's not enough for the world. Who cares about the world? The world's just twirling. And it's not the world. We always say that, don't we? Do you notice how we've been programmed? We always say the world. It's not the world. It's the people that judge themselves that are judging us. Do you see? Judges judge, observers observe. And you need to observe. And when you observe and you see the judgers, you don't go near them. Judgers can't change. And when someone judges, somebody's got to go to jail. And you always seem to just opt and get the key and put yourself in there.
Means a lot.
You mean a lot. You mean everything. You're everything to yourself. You're
Feels
everything.
great.
Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? I think we've had just about enough. Let's take a break. Thank you, and bless you.
Bless you.
How was that?